We just want to thank you so much for inviting us to your beautiful building and taking the time during the holidays to sit down and answer a couple questions with us.
Sure. Now, what do y'all do? Or what is this for?
So our platform, we focus on the younger generation, young entrepreneurs. And I think that at our age, picking brains of...
So you have your own business?
Yes, sir.
I own a taco truck, and then
I own a few online stores, and I also do energy consulting for a few places here in the Valley.
You just get your staff?
Yes, sir.
the camera guys, and then
That's all overhead. I'm joking.
Well, so we're just starting to, get to the point where maybe we can market or advertise the podcast in a way where we can start making money. But it really started as an educational journey. And, we wanted to do a podcast together, a platform where we can show our face and, do what we love to do. But when we started it, I was like, okay, wait, on podcast, you kind of have to know what you're talking about. We're 21 years old. We'll admit to you, we don't know what to do.
I'll admit to you, I don't either. I don't do social media or podcasts. I did one a couple of weeks ago for some guys that do advertising. A couple of young black guys, real nice.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know why I did, but I went because I don't do this. I'm very shy, and I like...
No worries. I mean, we started off like real shy as well. Our first videos were...
How many have you done?
8. This is our 8th video, sir. And it's been a year since we started. I'm about to turn 22. And it's honestly been the best decision of my life. I got to sit down with great entrepreneurs like yourself. And we'll end the conversation this way, but what advice you would give your 21-year-old self if you could start all over again?
And then the name of our podcast is called The Future Billionaire Project. And we named it that because we know that one day we want to reach that status, not because of the money, but more because of the mindset and the resources that we can use to get back to our communities.
Yeah, I think the first thing you do is not about the money.
Just never.
Do the right thing. If you want money, money will be there. But
Yeah,
I don't know, you never follow money. Do things right. Have somebody to trust you.
But we really want to know how it all really started for you. Where did this entrepreneurial mindset really begin?
Well, when I was young, we used to be migrants. And we travel to California. And my parents and my uncle told me that I used to buy little chiclets and to sell over there to make a little bit of money. And they make fun of me because my uncle said, I want to buy, but I want the whole box. And I was like, I'm not going to sell the box. Well, why not? Because I don't want anything to sell. It doesn't matter if I make profit or I want. So I guess I started learning about that.
And then build a little clientele.
I wanted to do, then to keep selling. And if I sold everything to him, even for the same amount of money, I wouldn't have anything to sell. So, or what? I didn't know arithmetic.
The start,
but 7, 8, 9 years old, if I remember.
Oh wow! So you're always a hustler from the beginning. You knew.
Well, I think our parents. Let me teach you that. My mother was hardworking. So was my father, and I picked pretty much every fruit and vegetable in California.
Oh wow!
So we worked hard.
And am I correct that you went to the University of Houston?
I started UTRGV. Then I applied to pharmacy school. My sister's pharmacy, they own science pharmacies. And I went to go to U of H pharmacy school, and she had graduated. And she told me one day, you better go work at a pharmacy, see if you like it. So sure enough, I went to work at a pharmacy one summer. I did not like it, so I wanted to go back. I went back and changed to business, finance, and I stayed there at U of H. That's how I ended up going to U of H.
And I'm curious, how did that decision and going to school there, impact your career path? Because I'm in school right now at Texas A&M, and I'm in between fences of, finishing school, going straight into the business.
I looked out that the University of Houston back then, they used to call it Cougar High. And now it's a tier 1 institution, despite the fact that they don't have the money that A&M and UT has or other schools. I think the chancellor has done a great job of running the whole, and therefore probably over 10 years.
Yes, sir.
So now we have a law school, medical school, new law school, new medical school, optometry school. So it's really different. Our campus is very different. It wasn't Safeway back then. And now it's like any other campus in the country, maybe better. So I was lucky enough to go there, and then I like business. So I went to business, straight from pharmacy to business. And I liked it. Then I came home and applied for a job with the old McAllen State Bank. You guys weren't even around.
Nope.
And they offered me, I think, $800 officer trainee. So I said, you know what, I'm going to My father had been building a little bit. He worked with a company that built some buildings at UTRGV back then, UT Pan Am.
Yes, sir.
And then we would build a house every now and then for us and sell it. So I started to maybe think about construction. So through construction, that's really became, I like construction. Then it led me branch out to my other businesses.
And you said earlier, like, you don't really know where you're doing in that moment, starting that first business of yours right out of college. Did you know what you were doing? Or?
No, but I liked it. And I always tell young people or young entrepreneurs that pick something that you like because you'll never work a day in your life. And that's like that work. I still work 70, 80 hours. And the issue how it was today. So busy all the time, especially for a year in. But I like what I do, so I don't consider it work.
Yeah, well, we know success like this just doesn't happen overnight. So what habits do you have that you do daily that contribute to the success?
I'm a habit. I'm a routine guy. From the minute I get up, somewhere between 5:36, take a shower, and then do whatever. Depending on what day, it depends what meeting I'm going to go to, and then my whole day scheduled ahead of time. So you can ask me, what are you going to be doing March 2nd and 2026? I can tell you what I'm going to do that day, depending on the day of the week. So I like routines, and also I always like to, change things a little bit so it doesn't get boring. And I'm involved in a lot of businesses, and I try to make sure everything's running right and know my employees and managers. And really, what makes it easy for me is I have a lot of smart people who work for me, and that's the key. And then you treat them right, and there's a lot of people that are smarter than me, so I hire them, and I'm not jealous of them, and I try to promote them.
Yes, sir.
Well, you built these great companies and you have these huge teams. So what do you do to always keep everyone motivated and aligned with your vision?
Well, first of all, be honest with them, treat them right, pay them fair, and let them know what you're up to and communicate.
Well, after, the construction business, I know you dabble into a lot of different businesses.
From construction, I got to build a lot of houses for some of the doctors. So I became friends with them. And then that led me to join a Alonzo National Bank. They had gotten their charter, but they had not opened. So some friends of mine invited me to join and invest at Alonzo National Bank. Judge Ricardo Hinojosa had founded the bank, but he had to sell out because President Reagan had appointed him to the court, U.S. District Court judge. So he had to divest, so I went to buy him. And I had some stock in a little bank called Metropolitan National Bank. And I went in there with a guy named Jim Fox, who was the president. I kind of graduated from school. And he started working there, and we grew together, and he helped me out a lot. And I started buying some of their stock. One day they said if I wanted to sell my stock, because the stockholders wanted to buy it. And at the same time, Alonzo National Bank was opening, and they were looking for capital. So I sold Metropolitan and went to Alonzo. And we've been there probably about 43 years. How the original owners, there's 3 of us left.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
And I'm curious, like, what motivated you to, I guess, keep going? Some people would say that you do really well for yourself. What keeps that flame what keeps that going?
Well, I like to employ a lot of people and make them, not myself, my team, wants to get a better life. So we employ over 7,000 people in different businesses. And through construction, I helped our doctors. The doctors started banking with us. We did the hospital. Then I got into sports and the title companies and stuff like that. But it's really the market drives you, and also having good people around drives you.
Yeah, about the sports world, how would you say owning and managing a sports team is different than other businesses?
Well, we started with the Vipers a long time ago. And then when I worked in State Farm Arena, and a friend of mine, David Guetta, invited me one day and said that there's opportunity to buy into this league. And the reason I got involved was because of the Valley. Everybody likes the Valley, but at that time there wasn't enough things for them to do, whether winter Texas or people from Mexico. It's part of the entertainment. Mm-hmm. So we had a plan where we can do a basketball team. We can have, better quality of life, like mostly the cities are now doing well, having good restaurants, good entertainment, good housing, good health care with the hospitals now. So I think that helps the whole community. Anyway, from there, I went to buying, now I own 100% of it. But Rene, who's been my comptroller for 40-some years, he runs it because he likes basketball. I don't know too much about sports. So he's able to do that. And so it helped out. And
I'm curious, because at our age we hear from different family members and friends, and social media is just feeding us a whole bunch of different information. But how important do you think, diversifying the portfolio is for entrepreneurs rather than just sticking to one thing?
Well, for me, it was important because I like cash flow and I don't like debt. So I want as much cash flow as possible. I can buy stuff, but I don't have to borrow. Not that I didn't borrow before, but it's very careful and very conservative. But it's important that you like what you're doing, that you know it, and you get to be better. I sell quality and service in our business. If you look at our banks and the buildings and, the outside, starting with landscaping, cleaning, same thing with our subdivisions. And we also try to be innovative and then be the first to do this, to do that. We started doing stucco homes a long time ago and tiled roofs and stuff like that. And in sports, we thank the Houston Rockets with previous ownership and now Tillman Fertuta being there. We've kept it up because we've been winning for a lot of years. We have a lot of fans. And it does a great job on that. But, you got to build the good houses. You got to build good buildings. You got to have better health care. I think the HR has done a great job in bringing services that were not being offered because now we're doing transplants and level 1 trauma centers and neurology, a lot of neurology stuff that needs strokes and stuff like that. And we brought, just in the last 12, 18 months, we've got over 100 doctors here that could go anywhere in the world. So we have as many as 5 neurosurgeons, and we've got a lot of orthopedic surgeons, a lot of heart surgeons, a lot of cardiologists, and specialties that we don't know how we're doing transplants. So I think the Valley deserves it, and we need to work together to make it better.
Well, over the past 50 years, you've seen the Valley just completely transform, and you've been a great part of that.
Well, it takes a village. Like I said, you got good people, and they trust you, and you trust them, and you do a job and do it well. And also, if you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it. And so to me, it's a matter of trust. As business people, you can't go cheat somebody because everybody finds out. And you're not like a lawyer or a doctor. You can move into the next city and put your diploma on. You're a professional. With business people, it's all your reputation. So you got to protect the reputation, make sure you get trust.
I just want to know, where do you see the future of the Valley the next 5 to 10 years? And is there any sectors we should be looking into, like construction or?
I think the Valley is going to go tremendously. There's 2 things that I think we need. Education. I think universities like UTRGV, Texas A&M, any college ones, I think good because your population is 26 years old. And a lot of industry wants to come out, whether the weather or the taxes or whatever it is, or the transportation. If you do something in Mexico, they want to come. But you got to have an educated workforce. So if you can do that, and the university spend some money here and grow, I think that's going to be the biggest thing it's going to be to prosper the whole South Texas. We should also think more regionally instead of McAllen against Brownsville against Harvard.
Yeah, we're all one.
Or we should be one. Yeah, exactly right. I think we'll do more, especially the MPO got together and they get more money working together. So we need to do things like that. I remember when I was in McAllen, I was on the EDC board, and it was great. I learned a lot. We're bringing maculosis to come here. But at the end of the day, we had 2 goals. 1, make sure McAllen got it. And 2, make sure it doesn't go to Harlingen or Brownsville. That was our mentality. So hopefully, maybe not where it needs to be, but it's changing pretty rapidly.
I see there's a lot of growth. Mercedes done. We're talking about this today. That whole area, it seems like it's starting to grow.
Oh, yeah. I think, look at the Valley. When I was from Star County all the way to the Island, Brownsville, there you see a lot of commercial along the expressway.
Well, I'm curious, to figure out who you were at 21 years old. Around our age, what would your friends say about you? Or,
21, I was where was I? I graduated from college at 23, actually, because I did, like I said, 5 years of pharmacy school and then business. I started my business. That's where I was.
23.
I always worked a lot. I used to work out of my parents. I wasn't married. So I had a little office at the house. And I like construction. I like being innovative and doing things.
Was there ever any specific book or mentor that really guided you?
Business is not that difficult. Work hard, be honest, do what you say you're going to do, don't lose your reputation, and be on time.
No, it's true.
It's easier than you think, but you got to work and you got to earn it.
And sometimes people would say, I mean, for myself, and I think Alex can agree with me, entrepreneurship seems almost like this path that you're walking blindfolded. Like a lot of people I've interviewed myself, you're not the first person to tell me.
I think it's real wide. What do you want to do? Just like leadership. Let me ask you guys, and you're out there real smart. Who's your national Hispanic leader that says this leader representing Latinos in the whole country?
There isn't one.
Exactly. We need to learn how to do that, become leaders. The Black community has done a great job of promoting themselves, and they're only, 13% of the population. Latinos are 18 to 20%, and yet they're underrepresented everywhere. Turn on the TV, see one you see a Latino, or in Wall Street, or Fortune 500 company board of directors, or having businesses that are hard to get into.
You don't see a lot of them.
Yeah, you don't, and we don't work together well.
And yeah, they always
I've been criticized a lot, and people say this and then this, but it doesn't bother me. I want to hire more people. I want to help more people, and make sure all of us in the valley grow together.
Yeah, they're always saying the Latinos' worst enemies and themselves that we're always just fighting against.
So we'll see.
What do you think we can do, like, to unite and really
Find leader. Maybe one of you guys is going to be the leader.
we really hope
You can take us to the promised land.
that's the goal.
Yeah, I see there's just too much controversy. There's too much fighting and the whole politics side of things.
I tried not to get involved in local politics. I respect everybody. I work a little bit on the state and federal level, because that's when decisions are made, and that's where the money is. That want to help. We want to get an education building. Let's try to campaign for it. If you want to change the law for whatever reason, you can change it. Like a few years ago, before Obamacare, they were going to limit all physician-owned hospitals. That was a big problem, even though there's quite a few in the country. So we were able to get it from 0 to grandfather. So whatever percentage you have, you can do. You couldn't grow. You can do less, but not more than what you had before. And we've changed different laws, federal and state level, and the state government has really helped out here in the valley, because it wanted to turn red, and it looks like it turned red. But I think the governor's here quite a bit. The lieutenant governor's helped us quite a bit, getting grants for Stark County, and then here in the valley, where we got a grant to do a 200-bed behavioral hospital. So a lot of people who don't need to be in jail or prison, you can treat them somehow. So that's part of the deal they're planning, because it takes a lot of money and waste, and then they come out worse. So I think a lot of good things for the valley, and hopefully if all the communities get along and work together, it's going to be better.
Can I ask you, if you could go back, would you do anything differently?
Grow my hair longer so I could have hair now. I'm joking. No, I'm happy with what I do. I work a lot, but I like to work.
Yes, sir. Well, finally, we'll finish off with this one. What advice would you give if you could go back? And then we'll give you a second to think about it, but what advice if you could go back and give and share with your 21-year-old self? What would you say? Where would you start?
First of all, get your education. Make sure you got some accounting, right? Hang around with the right people that are going to make you proud and make you succeed. Don't get in with dumb people or crazy people or people that are going to laugh at you if you failed. We're all going to fail, but eventually you're going to succeed. And the harder you work, the better it is. And like I said earlier, make sure you're trusted. Make sure you have a good reputation. Protect your reputation at all costs. And I think you'll do great. I mean, there's no unless you invent something or you find a bedrock or something like a few years ago.
So you're a firm believer that, losses are more like lessons, as long as you take it like that, right?
Yes, and believe me, I've made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from it. If people have problems and people don't learn from their mistakes, they won't accept it because their ego or whatever it is. I didn't make the mistake or whatever. You got to swallow it. If you made a mistake, learn from it. Don't let it happen again. But a lot of us, including sometimes myself, do it for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe to prove a point, but the point's wrong. But I'm a believer that anybody can do it.
Yes, sir. And you've been around billionaires, millionaires, people of success. You see your wall. What's something or a quality that they all share? What's something that y'all has Daniel's out that they may all have in common?
I think they're focused in succeeding. Most of them, not all, want to help other people, get to the next level. I think that's get people to the next level. And education is really the best. You've heard about Vamos we started, and PAC for people to go vote. Mm-hmm. I participate in a lot of nonprofits. Our bank does a lot of donate. In fact, we have a commercial going that says, "Don't Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank. We volunteer more hours and donate more money than all the banks combined." And we do.
It's amazing.
At the hospital, you go sick, whether you have money or not, insurance or not, for illegal or not, we treat you. Once you get the emergency room, we got to stabilize you. So we're able to do those things, and people help us. The government helps us.
We'll end it there. Thank you so much, Alonso.
Sure.
Thank you for your time, and we really appreciate everything that you do.
And then on behalf of
Thank you guys.
our
Good luck.
organization,
Don't forget us when you're rich and famous.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, everyone, thank you for watching. Merry Christmas to everyone at home. Happy holidays, and thank you for watching.